Hi everyone, Dan Buckley here. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 tips to find a music producer. You're an experienced musician, you've been in the scene recording music and performing live. You're proud of the music you've made, but the production quality is still lacking when you compare your songs to artists on the radio and TV. There's a number of ways you can get your songs to that next level. One great way is to find a skilled music producer. You might be surprised to know you don't even have to look too far. Tip number 1, talk to other local musicians. By far, one of the best resources available to you will be the other musicians in your scene. Ask them if they've worked with any local producers or know of someone who has. This will give you a good starting point and a list of names to begin making inquiries. If you don't know any other local musicians, it's time to network. Visit local shows and strike up conversations with local bands that share your genre. Find local musicians online and listen to their music. If you like the production quality and sound of their music, email the band and ask who they worked with to produce and record the track. Check out Facebook groups in your area and mention you are looking for a good local producer. If anyone knows a good producer in your area, it's other local musicians. Tip number 2, ask local studios. Search around and make a list of local recording studios. Call, email, or visit in person. Ask for recommendations of producers that book time with the studio. You can also do a quick search of the studio name with the word producer tagged on the end. This should quickly give you a list of quality producers, and as an added bonus, it will provide an important filter for producers that are established and successful enough to work with local studios on a consistent basis. Finding a local producer through a studio can also ensure you'll have access to a larger variety of equipment that the producer may need to record your album. Tip number 3, network at local music stores. There's one thing all musicians and producers can agree is important: gear. Another good spot to look for a great local music producer is at your local guitar center or other music store. Sean Latane from musicindustryhowto.com writes, "Music and instrument stores are often great environments for networking because the owners tend to be well connected in the music scene. Additionally, the staff are often part of bands and music projects of their own, and some stores have lesson programs, which means they also employ music teachers. Teachers are likely to be involved in the music industry in other ways, so they might know someone that can help you, or some of them might be producers in their own right." Tip number 4, reach out to bands that came before you and are now bigger than you. Know of a bigger band from your area? Maybe they started as a local band but made it big as little as a few years ago? Search Wikipedia and check their album credits to see who is listed as the producer. It doesn't guarantee the producer will be local, but chances are good, especially if the producer worked on the band's first album. It's possible that the producer on the album is so huge now that you won't be able to book time with them, but you might be surprised to know many producers who have worked with bigger bands are willing to work with lesser-known groups if they're local. This method has the added bonus of aligning your sound with a band you admire or are trying to emulate. It's a lot easier to tell a producer, "Hey, I'm going for a sound similar to," insert band name, who you worked with a few years ago, than it is describing several influences the producer has probably never heard of. Tip number 5, use music producer networks. Did you know there are such things as music producer networks? That's right, someone has already done the hard work for you and brought together a group of producers looking for new projects. You can search through a list of high-quality producers available to musicians all over the nation. Check out noisecreators.com and soundbetter.com to track down a producer near you. If you're interested in finding more of these networks, a quick search online should do the trick. Note, not all networks are created equal. Music producer networks can range from a highly curated, selective list of producers that have worked with big names to nothing more than a fancy social media site. Searching for the names of a few producers from each network and finding a list of their discography will give you an idea of the quality of the network you're looking at. Bonus tip: make sure it's a good fit. For any local music producer you find, it's important to know they're a good fit for what you're trying to accomplish. Find out their rates, their previous works, and listen carefully. Make sure you like the sound of that producer's previous work. Chances are good that any music you record with your new producer will take on elements of that producer's sound, so you want to know it's a sound you enjoy. Make sure your personalities are a good fit by taking your producer to coffee and having an informal chat about the project. Brett Baird, co-author of MusicHacker.co and a local Seattle, Washington music producer for bands like Emery, King's Kaleidoscope, and more, reiterates the importance of networking when looking for a producer. Networking is one of the best ways you can find a quality local music producer. Anywhere you go, there might be someone there. The other day, I met a guy doing camera work, but he has a band, and now we're going to record in a few weeks. Always be networking is pretty key for finding a producer and a musician's career in general. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have a tip of your own you'd like to share, please leave a comment below this video. We would love to hear from you.